All right, so let's talk about one-to-many. We've talked about classes that are not related to one another, right? They're single instances with no foreign keys or primary keys. Let's see how we would implement one-to-many. So here's an example of courses that in Java they're related to the faculty class here by a one-to-many. So presumably the faculty might have an array of courses that they've authored and or that they might teach through a section. So let's see how we can convert that, or how do we model that. In Java, it would be pretty standard, right? You would have either the faculty have an array of courses, and maybe that would be it, right? That Java would only really care the relationship from the parent's point of view, right? Faculty containing an array of courses or a list of courses. That's it, right? Now, in relational database, typically the implementation of that relationship is actually backwards, right? It is the children who are going to have a foreign key to the primary key of the parent, right? Now, to be able to bridge the gap between this inversion of implementation, right? JPA suggests that not only are you going to have a one-to-many implementation of the array of the courses from the faculty's point of view, but you're also going to have on the other side a reference back from the child to the parent. So here it is. So you have courses, right? Course have the title of the course as a name and a reference to the parent. See that? Has a reference to the faculty who wrote, who's the author of this course. Okay, and establishing the relationship of saying, hey, I am participating in a one-to-many relationship, and I am on the weak side of this relationship. I am on the many side, right? Meaning there's lots of courses for that one faculty, right? And the way we do that is through the many-to-one annotation. Okay. Actually, this would have been better. First, talk about this. Yeah, from the faculty's point of view, right? From Java's point of view, the only thing you would need to do is to just declare list the authored courses by this faculty as just an array or list of courses, right? But to create the relationship between the two, right? In the JPA, to know that this is going to be stored in a database and that there's going to be a foreign key, primary key relationship between these two, we use the annotation one-to-many, right? That we are in a one-to-many relationship, and the inverse relationship between, from the child back to the parent is through this variable author, right? The child has declared a variable called author, right? That refers back to the parent, right? So that's the mapped by, right? Is that author, right? And that's actually going to be used as the name of the foreign key that refers to the primary key, right? So that field is going to be used for that name of that foreign key. The other thing to point out here is that JSON ignore, and we might have covered this. I'm not sure if we did in the previous lecture. So what when you're going to convert a JSON object from, a Java object to JSON, right? When you return it from a RESTful service back to React in our case, is going to convert verbatim, right, field for field, right? The field in Java is going to be converted to a field in JSON, every field in every field. Here, notice that we have the risk of entering a cycle, right? Notice that when we are converting the faculty is going to return as a faculty instance. And the authored courses is going to return as an array of courses. And then it's going to navigate to each one of the course instances to convert each course instance to a JSON representation, right? So when it navigates to the course, it says, okay, I'm in the course, right? I need to retrieve an ID. I need to convert it to a JSON representation. I need to convert the name into a JSON representation. And, ooh, look, there's a faculty object that I need to convert also. right? But that faculty, it's the same faculty as my parent, right? So if I allow the conversion of that author, is going to come back here, do it all over again. Username, first name, last name, blah, 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 courses. Right, so it's going to navigate again down to the courses. So it's going to get into this infinite loop, right, of the faculty going down to the courses, back to the faculty, down to the courses, back to the faculty. Is going to just go in the infinite loop. So what we do here is that we stop it. We tell the conversion, the JSON conversion, to stop. Ignore this field, right? Don't continue trying to convert this, right? Okay. So that's what the JSON ignore is there for, right? Yes.
So does that mean when I request a faculty object through the API on RESTful service, does that mean it will also include a list of all the courses that the faculty
Yes.
has?
Yep.
What if I don't want that?
If you don't want, what do you mean?
Because if I'm just looking for some information about faculty, I don't necessarily want the whole list of courses that you teach.
Right. Yeah, so you would have two versions. That would be a summary, right? And then you would have a specific query that would not join to the courses. It would only retrieve the faculty objects, and you would specify exactly which fields you want. So you in the repository you would create a find faculty summary, right? And in that faculty summary, you would specify the only fields you want: username. Not even maybe the password, and maybe just a username, first name, and last name, right? And there would be no join, because basically what's happening underneath, right? It's joining the faculties with the courses, right? And the foreign keys, where the foreign keys and primary keys meet, right? And it's retrieving all those instances for each one of the faculty, and then creating for you this nice JSON object, right? So you would have to create your own find faculty summary, right? And specify exactly which fields you want. Yep. So the other option would be, what if I don't want the courses, but maybe I want to know how many courses do I have, right? Or I'm retrieving just a course, right? Just a course object, and I know the ID, and I want to know who authored it. But this doesn't allow me to do it, because it says no. I'm not going to give you the faculty object, right? Because I'm going to ignore it, right? But I still want to know who the author is, right? Maybe just give me the first name and last name, right? So to do that. You can have a separate. Field, okay, also of type faculty, right, but not participating in the relationship, in the many-to-one, right? And it would be a transient field, meaning this is not being stored in the database. Right? This is not a field that is stored in any database. Meaning this is not a foreign key. It's nothing, right? It's a field that I want to populate on the fly, right? Meaning. Yes, retrieve for me the faculty object, because this will retrieve it. It just won't be converted. It won't be converted, and so you can retrieve the faculty object, but not participating in the many-to-one. We'll do a transient example. You have to tag it as transient. Transient means do not store this in the database. I mean, it's a field that lives only in memory, right, in the CPU. But it's not mapped to any field in the database. It's a calculated field. We'll do an example. So here's courses. Notice courses has an auto increment. There's a varchar for the name. Notice that it has the author underscore ID. Right, so I took the mapped by example of the field for declaring the foreign key, and it added the foreign key constraint. Right. And it has its own primary key. And I think, no, we're not going to karate. I'm lying to you, because here the courses a plural, but the name of the table is actually course, right? Really, to accomplish that, you can override this with table and give it the actual name you want to use. as courses. Right, so this is overriding the naming of the table. You want to say, I don't want you to use the default singular course. Right? I want you to use the courses as plural, which is a better naming convention, at least in SQL. All right, so how is it that we would implement authored courses? Here in faculty, we have the list of all the authored courses. Let's see, we have, authored courses, there we go. So authored courses. So authored courses needs to be able to be modified, right? Say the faculty added a new course, they author a brand new course. We need to create the relationship between the two. Right? We need to be able to insert the course and have that course and point back to the faculty. Right? That foreign key needs to point back to the faculty. So to do that, the function would look something like this. Authored courses, you would pass in the instance of the course, and you would typically you would only do the following. You say this.authoredcourses.add, right? It's a list. You can add new courses. But here it goes a little further, right? It says not only am I adding the course to the list of courses, I also need to tell the course, make sure that the course knows that I am their parent, right? If the course didn't know already that I am the author of that course, I should tell it. Right? So, for instance, if the course's author is not me, right, then the course should know that I am its author, right? So that the direction goes both ways, right? You want to make sure that it's behind the a check, right? That the course make sure that it's not me. Otherwise, you can go into an infinite loop, because on the other side, set author is going to do the same thing. It's gonna say, okay, I'm setting the author, and it's going to try and say, oh, I am your course. So it's going to go into an infinite loop. So from the other side, from the course's point of view, here's where it would come and would say a set author, and we pass an argument the author. Typically, you would just say this.author equal author. But it goes a little further and says, oh, because I can start the relationship from any way, right? In Java, you can set the relationship from any way, right? From well, typically you would just either use the array, right, or you would use the one of them, right? But in SQL, the relationships are bidirectional, right? You can always say, give me all the authors where foreign key is equal to primary key, right? You can navigate from one record to the other in both directions. In Java, typically the relationship would be only one way, right? It would be the parents who know about the children, right? The only reasons we have this mechanism of both pointing to each other is to implement this bidirectionality that is typical in relational databases, right? So here we're saying get the authors. Does the course contain me? Am I in your array? Right? Am I in your array? If I'm not, you should add me to that list. Right? So depending on from where you start, either the author adding the course to the author, or setting the faculty as the author of this course, right? Either one will work. You don't need both of them. Notice that if I do one, then the other one will not execute, right? So testing makes one. Okay, so let me. Makes many.